What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So this one's just like the airbag one, where it's going to be like an upgrade to the truck to make it a little bit better on driving with the camper on. You can probably tell by the title of this video, but we have installed lights on the truck. I'm so stoked that Diode Dynamics sent me a full kit to install in my truck. Now I reached out to them, I did a bunch of research on things that I wanted, specific colors and stuff like that, and I reached out to Diode Dynamics because I thought they were the best for my application. And I'm really lucky that they not only sent me the fog lights, but they sent me ditch lights and reverse lights to install. Now a lot of people might be wondering why I need new fog lights or ditch lights or anything like that, and honestly it all comes down to pretty much inclement weather. Now we do a lot of traveling in mostly like snowstorms, really deep snow, where it's almost like whiteout conditions, and these new fogs are going to help me a lot. Now the ones that come stock on the truck aren't bad, honestly. They're mediocre. They're just bright enough to really work as a fog light, but for really bad weather they just didn't cut it. Now for the snow, for example, let's say you're driving through and it's like a whiteout condition, it's really, really deep. The white or the stock fogs can kind of turn into like a blinding situation where the like really cool or white light from the headlights and then the really cool white light from the fogs kind of just illuminate all of the snow, and it just turns really bright. So really what I wanted to do is get like amber or yellow fog lights. Now the reason I wanted amber is because it's much easier on your eyes. You know, like when you're using a computer and you can either do like blue light glasses or things like that, the cooler the temperature, the more strain it puts on your eyes. So when you have like a yellow or a fog, there's a lot less strain as you're driving. And then two, as you're driving, the whites or the really cool temperatures kind of turn all of the snow into one flat, bright area where I can't see if there's like a ditch or tracks or something like that, where the yellows will illuminate that and it'll show me the terrain much, much better. Now the ditch lights are a little bit of the same thing. They're not necessarily for illuminating the ground directly in front of you, which the fog lights are. They're more for illuminating things really far ahead. So I probably won't use these a lot when it's like whiteout conditions because it will cause more issues. But if the weather is a lot better, and let's say we're driving off-roading somewhere or deep somewhere and I can turn them on, they will illuminate not only what's in front of me, but everything on the side of me. So I'll be able to see if deer are coming or if I'm going to be taking a turn or something like that. And then the reverse lights are exactly what they say. So you just mount them on the back. When you put your truck in the reverse, the lights illuminate bright white so you can see as you're backing up. And then when you're just in drive, they're just normal red and act like an accent light. I'm not going to get into the specs of all these lights. You can go on their website, you can see them all. I'm not going to do like a full install because you can go to other YouTube channels and see that. Now this is a brand new kit, so everything came to me like a week or two apart. So I installed them as I got them, and let's go watch that right now. So I've had these for a little while, and we actually just got back from a trip to Yellowstone, which was about 4,000 miles of driving. And so far, honestly, I really, really love them. The brightness on the fogs and the ditch lights is far more than I would have ever imagined. The fog lights, I would guesstimate, are 3 to 4 times brighter than the original fog lights that were on there. And then the ditch lights are at least 2 to 3 times brighter than the brights on the truck, which are bright to begin with. It is truly like turning nighttime into daytime. They're insanely powerful. I have to be really careful and make sure no one is like coming my way, or I'm gonna like blind someone with them, that they're so strong. I've been really impressed with the quality of everything. So the ditch light mount actually just mounts right onto the hood, like you guys saw, just 2 screws, holds it down, and then you put the light right on top of it. Now that bracket is aluminum and it's painted. That's really important to me because a lot of these light manufacturers will send like a cheaper steel version of their mounts. And like you can see on my bumper and everything else, if something is steel here in Wisconsin, it is going to rust. So having something aluminum is really important, that it's not gonna rust, get corroded, get disgusting, and just look absolutely terrible. Now there's very little that I really don't like about this kit, but there was 2 things. First is the lights that I got. So the fogs and then the ditch lights have what's called a backlight capability. So when they're off, it still illuminates like an amber, just as like an accent. And honestly, it just looks really cool. So I wanted that version. But for the backlight, you have to tap in to some sort of power even when it's off. So normally everything just plugs right into the existing harness, which is fantastic, but the backlight needs its own power. Now what they wanted me to do is use this really cheap little like piggyback system where I was supposed to find a wire that's active all the time. So I could have done like the lights that are my running lights or something like that. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to find the wire, put this piggyback over the wire, squeeze it until it clicks, and what's that supposed to do is just touch the inside of the wire and provide power. Now, I really didn't like that. It's not waterproof. It can totally fail really easily. So what I did is I just routed extra wire into my truck's upfitter switches, which are fantastic. The truck actually comes with switches built in, and it has all the wiring completely ready to just get tapped right into. So what I did is I used the upfitter switch that has its own wire. I used a compression fitting that also is waterproof, so it heat shrinks. So what that does is it gives me my own fuse for it, which honestly, it's pulling absolutely no power whatsoever, but just being able to turn it on and off with a switch is really important. And then I did that with the fogs and the ditch lights, and then the ditch lights are controlled again by one of the switches. So I have a switch for 1 backlight, 2 backlight, and then on and off of the ditch lights, completely built right in the truck. I don't have to add any switches or anything like that. Now the other thing I really didn't like is the bolt for the ditch light that mounts to the bracket just doesn't look correct. It's giant, it hangs out really far on the bottom. It's silver. Again, this isn't an issue. For most people, it's no big deal. I'm a little crazy about fit and finish. I want it to look really good. So all I'm probably gonna do is order like a much smaller carriage bolt, probably an acorn nut. Hopefully I'll find it in black. I'm gonna order from McMaster Car. That's where I get all of my hardware, and it'll just give me a much cleaner look and a much cleaner finish. I wanna thank you guys so much for watching. If you're interested in any of these products, I'll have links below. They're not affiliate links. I don't get any money from it. This just goes straight to Diode Dynamics. So check it out. If you guys have any questions about them, please let me know. I'm more than willing to give you my full, honest opinions on them. But for now, I want to thank you, and I'll see you next time.